Hey there, this is Gabriel, joined by Joe Burnett, our staff engineer, walking you through the 17.0 plan iteration issue for our recently renamed team, Hosted Runners. Very excited about the new name to be more self-explanatory. And let me share my screen quickly. So just to kind of set the stage, oh, I didn't have it, but Hosted Runners is the group that hosts runners for GitLab.com. We currently have Linux, Windows, and macOS runners, and yeah, we will walk you through right now. So I think this next section is quite important for many of you, because it's about deprecating features. It is a major release, so we have the unique chance as a team, but as a customer, I think that's probably more scary. But we will or have announced some deprecations. I'll quickly go through the different blog posts. I've linked them here as well. So first one is we are updating the operating system version of the still SaaS runners, hosted runners on Linux. And that comes with a breaking change. So it's I think quite straightforward. We need to update because we need for all of the components to be in the latest version to be compliant and all of that good stuff. But the operating version comes with a change in or an upgrade in the Docker engine. And that Docker engine isn't compatible with all of the Docker versions of Docker and Docker or Conico. So if you're using Docker and Docker that's older than 20.10, you might have to, or you will have to update. And the same holds true for Conico. If you use a version before 1.9.0, you'll also have to update. Otherwise, your job will fail with one of these errors here. Then jumping to the next deprecation, we are cleaning up some of the tags we are using on the small hosted runners on Linux. The only tags that will be supported going forward is SAS Linux small AMD 64, which is the same as all of our other Linux runners. So we will be using tags such as Docker Linux, and there's a bunch of other ones right now on the runners. So if you are using any other tag than SAS Linux small AMD 64, your jobs will not be picked up. But remember, these runners are configured to run untagged jobs. So if you don't have any tag at all defined, you will not be affected. So that will just work fine. And then for the last deprecation, we have recently in January provided or released Windows 2022 support. And with 17.0, we are deprecating the Windows 2019 version. So make sure to upgrade if you're using Windows runners to the latest version. In that change, it's not only the version, we've also updated the tag to be consistent with all of the other runners. So make sure if you use the runners to follow this guide here on how to update, and then you should be good to go. So we got the heavy lifting out of the way. Now let's focus on new exciting features. For 17.0, we are very excited to finally offer ARM hosted runners or hosted ARM runners, however you want to call it. So we are planning to release both a medium and large ARM runner with 4 vCPUs and actually 16 gigabytes of RAM. The ARM runners come with more RAM or double the RAM of the AMD runners, and then a large ARM runner with 8 vCPUs and 32 gigabytes of RAM. So very excited about that for people to natively build for the ARM platform finally. So you will not need to fall back on QEMU to release for a different architecture. And then another exciting runner we are looking to release is the macOS large runner. So we are looking to use M2 Pro machines and release the large runner with 6 vCPUs and 16 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, very excited about all of the new runners that we are looking to release. And with that, I'm handing over to my partner in crime today, Joe, to walk you through other features we are looking to work on.
Cool. Thanks, Gabriel. Yeah, so as a larger runner team, we've been working on steps, and the part that this team is contributing is some more work on GitHub Actions support. So steps is actually landed in this last release, 16.11, as well as some public documentation. So if you want to know how it works and how you use actions as well as steps, go check out the docs. Our approach here has been very iterative. We have gotten the thing up and running. There's some the action support. We've got a couple of actions working and tested, and so this iteration we're going to just start picking some of the more popular ones, putting in tests for them, fixing anything we run into, just to make sure that we've started to get some decent coverage. So yeah, that's what actually about half of that work is. And then there's a little bit more work on the step reference format. We just that's something we've been spending a lot of time on multiple teams, sort of trying to make sure we get right, because that's something that you use a lot. So it needs to feel natural, needs to be powerful. So we should wrap that up as well. Yeah, so steps is also gonna have it could have other applications. So we're trying to unblock some of those, working with another team on that. It's all kind of like on the path of what we planned anyway. So we're gonna keep pushing on script support too in steps. So that's the essential steps work. For maintenance, we're just gonna do another Mac release. We've kind of gotten a pretty good cadence now. It's getting easier to do these releases, so it shouldn't be too much work. We have a couple bugs we want to knock out. We're continuing to sort of test and refine Grit, make sure it's really nice, works smoothly. We have a couple things we noticed about our Linux runners we want to check out. We're doing a little bit of R&D. We want to kind of think a little bit about how we can be more efficient with runners, especially as we scale out our architecture. One thing that's changing about our work over the last year is we're making a lot more runners with dedicated runners. We're stamping out runner stacks, and with cells, we're going to be stamping out runner stacks. And so the grit work is meant to sort of make that look consistent. So we want to kind of make that smooth. And as far as this Think Big that Gabriel has scheduled, we want to make sure that it's efficient and automatic. So this is really about scaling our platform in a sublinear way, so we can operate more runners with fewer people. That's it.
Great. Thank you for walking through this planning issue. For anybody listening, in this issue is also the roadmap planning issue for our group. So feel free. We've just updated our Q2 plan and goals. So if you have any questions or want to know what we are working on in the next few iterations, that's always the best place to start your journey. Cool. Thank you so much, Joe. And then see you next release. Cheers.